parsnip dash peach. How long do you give yourself at a new job before calling it quits?
I will, if I really disliking it and not enjoying myself, I will immediately start thinking about what I could do to get myself out of there and see what steps I have to take
Immediately
to get myself out. So
how long? 3 hours.
Hell yeah.
Hell
right
yeah.
off the bat.
If it's really that bad.
If you're late to lunch,
miserable.
if they make you late to lunch, you need to start thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because that's an everyday thing. If they make you late to lunch on your first day, you're gonna be late to lunch a lot.
Yeah.
If it's something that I know that's still going to help me and move me along in my life, then I'm like, I might put up with this for a little bit, but I'm thinking about what steps I need to take to get out of there so that I know I don't get stuck there. I might have to put up for it for a little bit until it's, the right time for me, depending on my situation. But I'm immediately going to be like, how the fuck do I get out of this? This is miserable.
I give myself the time that the company gives me to back out. So, like, the companies...
It's usually 90 days.
Yeah. So, companies give you, like, the 90-day rule of they're like, within these 90 days, whatever. So, I usually... in fact, I did give myself that time to quit, and I did quit in the 90 days. I stayed at the company anyways, but, like...
So, why'd you quit?
I didn't like the environment. Like I wasn't a fan of because it also depends. Like it might not be the company that you don't like. It's just that particular environment that you don't like. So I really enjoy the company that I work for right now. It's great. It's a great company, and I really like their ethics and the way that they work around certain things. I just didn't like that particular place I was working at. So when they gave me the option,
so you're where you work. There's like different places. There's more than one location.
Yeah, there's more than one.
So you just move locations.
Yeah, there was more than one place that I could go. So
it looks like it's a small job. It's understaffed, small team, and
hell no,
I think this person's just really trying to be as nice as possible and like worried about making them even more understaffed.
Just saw a video of a girl like quitting her job on a Zoom meeting, and all she said in the Zoom meeting, she's like, so and so emailed me, and so whatever, and she's like, well, I'm just here to tell you, I don't really care how you're gonna take. She really said that. She's like, I don't really care how you're gonna take what I'm gonna say because I'm gonna say it anyways. I'm leaving this job, and I just want you to know that I'm really happy that I'm leaving this job, and I feel sorry for you people who have to stay in this shitty job, but that's on you. And she literally was just like saying, I was all like, damn.
Would say this is what I would say about this specific problem. If you're in the field that you want to be in, maybe think it through a little bit, because like we said, maybe it'll propel you towards something else, because everybody's got to put up with some bullshit in order to get to where they ultimately want to be. If it's if it's a summer job or some shit, or some seasonal job, or if it's just some job to pass the time while you're finishing school or something, or like whatever, like immediately the moment that you're like, yeah, this doesn't work for me, or my manager's a bitch, or like
just don't come back from lunch, bro.
Or like I don't even say like fuck that whole resume shit, put 2 weeks and all this shit. Like jobs don't need you like that. Jobs will replace you at any chance they fucking get.
They ready to replace you.
So
instantly.
don't like just don't show up one day if that's really how you feel, if you're that upset about it. Now that being said, the only thing that I would be careful about is if the niche market in which your job operates in talks to your other potential employers. That's the only thing. So like if you leave all abruptly and then they're like the other like catches wind, like if you're in a very specific niche, which is a small team, so I'm gonna guess like if you're a very specific niche, then yeah. But in theory, but just based on principle, if you're not happy, get the fuck out of there. You don't owe them shit. You don't owe them your time. You don't owe them your life. You don't owe them your personal time, your happiness. Yeah. You don't owe them anything past whatever contractual obligation that you guys set up in your hiring process. That's it. They're not your friends. They're not your besties. They're not your family. They're not gonna save you from a burning building. They're not. Nah, bro. That just if you unhappy, find something else.
I will say that's one good thing about the newer generation is that they're not holding on to that idea of
toxic
work. The way that
workplace,
like that toxicity of like, oh well, you have to be here and you have to like You know, like, no, you
Yeah.
don't. You
And
really don't have to be there
think
unless
it's making
it's helping your life.
I think it's making companies reconsider how they treat people because they're like, damn, and if these people are really just gonna dip on us like that, then we gonna have nobody to work with. So we gotta have to, you know, maneuver a little bit
Yeah,
so
to
that
that
people
point,
are willing to work with us.
I think back
Which is
then,
cool.
though companies I think were kind of shitty, there were more to look forward to. Like the market itself was a lot easier to buy a house, buy a car, buy
That's
all
true.
this stuff. So even if you did have to put up with some bullshit, putting up with the bullshit was in some way, shape, or form worth it. Because
Yeah.
even if you were working for minimum wage, or even if you were working a good, like a decent, like mid-level job that got you more than minimum wage, you were still going to be able to buy your own house. You were still going to be able to buy your own car. You were still going to be able to start a family. You were still going to be able to do all that shit on those wages because inflation hadn't kicked in
Yeah.
yet. So like now that that's not the thing, and that we all have to fucking go through it just to do some basic ass shit, and like there's a fucking renters crisis and a housing crisis and like all this shit, like putting up with a job in hopes that maybe you get relatively close to almost being able to, yeah, bro, that looks like an
Listen,
equation.
there's so many other jobs you could go to
That
that's
looks
not
like an
open.
equation that we ain't fucking with. So if you unhappy,